Hey, it's Tom from Pinelands Nursery, and I'm back with another nursery walk. This time I'm at our seed farm, but before I get into that, I try and do these at least once a week, and if you're interested in learning more about the plants we grow, specifically the native plants and seed we grow, hit subscribe and give this video a like. It goes a long way into helping us make more of these and letting us know what you guys are interested in. But like I said, I'm at our seed farm, and that's to show you what's stealing the show this time of year, and that is narrowleaf sunflower, also known as swamp sunflower, and the botanical name for this is Helianthus angustifolius. And right now it is just absolutely stunning. You can see we're growing probably 10 to 12,000 plants here, so we can collect the seed off of it and then sell the seed. But it is just a beautiful plant this time of year. Getting into mid-October, where we are in New Jersey, that's when this plant really starts to light up, and it'll stay blooming at least till the end of the month, probably even in November some years. It's a really beautiful plant. It can be on the taller side. These are the taller ones are approaching 7 or 8 feet in some places, but a lot of them, especially towards the middle of this block, are more between like 3 to 5 feet tall. Something that you can actually trim back a little bit and they'll stay a little bit shorter for you. They'll bloom a little later if you do that as well. But a really, really unique plant. And one of the things why it gets its name narrowleaf sunflower is you can just see how narrow these leaves are. And here's a good close-up of some of the flower centers and how they look. And this thing has been mobbed with pollinators. They tend to run away from me as I get close. But just really, really beautiful, beautiful plant. One that's a highlight of our month of October here at the nursery. So let's see what else we can have in store for you this week. All right, so I was actually pulling out of the seed farm when I caught another blast of yellow right in my eyes, and it wasn't my shirt. But it was actually this field of Seaside goldenrod. And I actually talked about this a couple weeks ago in our asters and goldenrod video. But here it is in full bloom. And this is a plant, why it's called Seaside goldenrod. It can take some salt conditions. And another one that pollinators really like, there's some honeybees that are foraging on this plant. Oh, and it looks like there's a little fly on there too. So flies can be pollinators as well, and they're sharing the fruits here. But it can take some salinity, so you'll find it a lot of times on the dunes. I'll see it along the coast. And one of my favorite plants for that reason is in the fall. I remember we went down to Asbury Park and we're walking along the boardwalk in November last year, and I could see Seaside goldenrod blooming on the dunes just south of Asbury Park when you're getting into Ocean Grove. It's beautiful. It kind of meshes with that environment. It's not a spot where you're going to expect to see color. One of the downsides of this plant is when it dies back, it can look a little bit gnarly, but it's a specialist plant. It takes certain conditions, and one of those conditions is that it likes it a little bit. It can take some wetter conditions, but like I said, it can grow in the dunes as well. So it likes it fairly dry, but it takes that salinity that a lot of other plants can't take. And that's one of the reasons you'll find it in dunes. You'll find it on roadsides in upstate New York where they're salting the roads and you're getting that salt spray. Another just really unique plant. So now we're gonna leave the seed farm and find something back at the nursery. Hey everybody, back at the nursery, and had a little wardrobe change. Just kidding, it's actually the next day. But wanted to show some of the other things at the nursery. They're looking pretty cool. And this one here is one I talked about before. This is our Cornus Florida. And just starting to turn color now. You can see there's a bunch of them that are still pretty green, but this one is getting that deeper red. We have some that are more of this like fiery red color that you're seeing here, where they're all that color at the other end of the block. But another plant that at least I don't necessarily think about when it comes to fall color, but really is quite stunning. What I've really noticed is a lot of the undersides of these leaves give like a really nice pink hue from a distance. You can really see it quite well. Let's see here. From a distance, this one looked a little more pink, but you can see there's that dark red in the leaves. You have some more bright red, and again, that back of the leaf has a little bit of pink in it. It's a really, really beautiful tree. So, and we have these in number 7s, like you see here, and also we're running really low on number 1s. But all right, I think I have one more thing I want to show you, so let's go there. All right, so last thing on today's agenda is a plant that I'm not sure everyone watching is going to be familiar with. This is a plant called Baccharis halmifolia, or high tide bush. And this is another plant that, as you can probably infer by the common name, likes to grow in, or at least on the edge of salt marshes. And that's primarily because it has a competitive advantage. It can take a little bit of salinity, especially like that salt spray. So you think of a bay or even a sand dune, and the waves are crashing, or boat wake crashes up, and there's, well, a little bit of that salt or salt water goes into the air, and not all the plants can take those kind of conditions, but this plant can. So it's a really fantastic plant for that high marsh, dune, someplace where you're gonna have a little bit of salt spray, because it can take those conditions. One of the reasons that I'm showing you this plant right now is it's just setting seed, and it has a really unique seed. Now on our 1 gallons, like you can see here, you don't really see a lot of these seed heads. Part of that's because we trim them back. Part of that's because they're still fairly immature trees or shrubs, so they aren't that big. I'm gonna go and show you one that we have growing on our property here to show you what they'll actually look like in wild settings, like where I saw one when we toured Jamaica Bay this morning. So hold on, I'm gonna pull over there right now. And here it is. This is what high tide bush looks like in full seed. Now, I've seen plenty in the wild that aren't this loaded with seed, but this is pretty incredible how much seed you're gonna get off this plant. It's really cool. Adds a little bit of interest. I wouldn't say it's a plant everyone's gonna want in their landscape. It's the most beautiful plant in the world, but it's pretty cool. It's different. It's a different kind of texture, and it's a plant that only survives in certain conditions, which makes it really, really important to the ecosystem. So thank you again for joining me this week. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell. That'll let you know every time we release a new video. It really means a lot for everyone who's watching. I love making these and showing off what we're doing here at the nursery. See you next time.